afternoon, everybody. So we are going to solve gate questions on asymptotic notations, right? Yesterday we have solved up to 6th question, and now we'll continue from 7th question onwards. Please access the Google Drive, the link that I shared before. If possible, one of you please copy that in the chat box so that everybody can access. The file number is 9. Asymptotic notations. Question number 7. Consider the following 3 claims. Which of these claims are correct? Which of them are correct? So first claim says n plus k whole power m is equal to theta of n power m. Okay, where k and m are constants. Okay, then 2 power n plus 1 is equal to big O of 2 power n. Third claim, 2 power 2n is equal to big O of 2 power n. So which of the claims are correct? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, which of them are correct? In the first claim, k and m are constants. Something like this is 2, this is 4, something like that. So n is a variable. Okay. So this is a variable means it is like a function. Okay, something like x plus 2 whole cube. Something like that, because these two are constants. Which means it is a polynomial definitely. Polynomial with the highest power m. So polynomial of degree m. So if f of n is a polynomial of degree m, we know that it is equal to theta of m power n. That is a true statement, right? We have learned that in big O and big omega. Both are true, that's why theta is also true. Yeah, this is a true statement because this is a polynomial of degree m. Polynomial in n with degree m. Okay, that second statement. 2 power n plus 1 equal to big O of 2 power n. I think we have taken this as an example when we were studying big omega notation. And what was the note that we have written about this? See, this is like 2 power n into 2. 2 power n into 2 is equal to big O of 2 power n. Okay. So the two functions are such that one is constant multiple of the other. Then f of n is equal to big O of g of n, big omega of g of n, theta of g of n. So big O is true between these two functions, right? So second statement is also true. Third one, 2 power 2n means 2 square whole power n, which means 4 power n. 4 power 1 n is equal to big O of 2 power n. Polynomials only, and they are saying 4 power n is less than or equal to some constant into 2 power n. Is this true? No, it can never ever be. 4 power n can never ever be less than or equal to 2 power n, whatever constant. It could be very large number. Okay, this could be very large c, but still, this can never be less than or equal to 2 power n. So this is a false statement. So only two statements that are true are 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 0 options. 1 and 2. Option A. Please study the statements individually and carefully. Next question. 3. F of n is equal to 2 power n. G of n is equal to n factorial. H of n is equal to n power log n. Which of the following statements about the asymptotic behavior of f of n, g of n, h of n is true? So the options are given. F of n equal to big O of g of n, g of n equal to big O of h of n. First, let us find out the relation between these three, which is less than what. Then we can verify ABCD options. See, as per the relation that we learned, we know the relation between these two. 2 power n is less than n factorial. So f of n is equal to big O of g of n is clear. If this was n power n, then we have a clarity. N factorial is less than n power n. But n power log n, we do not know. Then you need to compare these two and see. Okay. Let me compare these two. N factorial and n power log n. Okay. So give the values for n and then verify. Okay. What value do we give? Example 8. Okay. 8 factorial. This one is 8 power log 8 is log 8 to the base 2, for example. Okay, this is 3. This is 8 cube. And this is 8 factorial. 8 cube, 8 factorial. Okay, this is like 512. This is 720 into 8. Okay, seems to be bigger one, but let us take one more example and see. For example, 16. N equal to 16. So this is 16, which means 2 power 4 whole power log 16. What is log 16? Log 16 to the base 2 is also 4. So this is 2 power 4 into 4, 2 power 16. Okay. And this one, 16 factorial. Much bigger number, right? Okay. If it is not possible to calculate and find out which is greater than, which is less than, and take another small value. For example, n equal to 10. Approximately. Okay. Which one? This is 10 power. Log 10 to the base 2. Log 8 to the base 2 is log 8 to the base 2 is 3. But log 10 means 3 point something. For example, 3.2. This is 10 factorial. You see what is 10 factorial? 7 factorial is almost 720. 720 into 8 into 9 into 10. Such a big number. But this is approximately same as 10 cube, which is only 1000. This is 1000, but this is much bigger number. Which means n power log n is definitely less than n factorial. So we know the relation between 2 power n and n factorial, that's fine. But n power log n, we came to know that it is lesser than n factorial. But we don't know whether it is here or here. So you need to compare the n power log n with 2 power n also. Okay. So let me do this here. N power log n with 2 power n. Give the values for n and then verify. Okay. Shall we give 8? This is 2 power 8. This is 2 power 8. But this one is 8 cube, which is 512. And this one is 2 power 6 is 64, 128, 256. Okay. If you are still not okay, then you go for so n equal to 16. 16 is more. Okay. N equal to 10. This is 10 power log 10 to the base 2, which is 3.1. This is 2 power 10, which is also approximately same as 1024. Both looks almost the same. Okay, not okay. Then go for 16. Then verify 16 is 2 power 4. 2 power 4 whole power 4. 2 power 16. How about this one? This is also 2 power 16. Correct? When n is 16. Okay. Take when n is 32. I'll write here. When n is 32. 32 is 2 power 5. Whole power log 32 is 5. Which means 2 power 25. 5 into 5 is 25. But this one is 2 power 32. Observe the difference. Observe the difference between.
Ma'am, your mic is muted, ma'am.
Is the board also blur?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Let me verify. Is this okay now?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So when n is 32, this one is 2 power 25. But when n is 32, 2 power n is 2 power 36. 2 power 36 is much bigger than 2 power 25. So this is smaller than 2 power n. So n power log n is smaller than 2 power n. This is smaller than n factorial. So this is the relationship, which means this is h of n and this is f of n. This is g of n. Now you know the relation between them by giving values for n. We have verified everything. Now you need to identify the options. Observe the options and tell me which statement is correct. F of n equal to big O of g of n. F of n is equal to big O of g of n is okay. G of n is equal to big O of h of n. G of n is less than h of n is wrong. Option A is wrong. B. F of n is omega of g of n. F of n is greater than g of n. No. Wrong. Option B is wrong. C. G of n is less than f of n. G of n is less than f of n is wrong. C is also wrong. D. H of n is less than f of n. Yes. And g of n is greater than f of n. Yes, correct. So both the statements are correct in option D. So answer is option D. So whenever you see functions like this, they are not in the relation that we discussed, right? But how did we form that relation? By giving values for n, correct? So now also you give values for n and then verify, but study their behavior as n is increased, not when n is small. Is this okay? Question number 8. Next question. Question number 9. Consider the two alternate packages A and B that are available for processing a database having 10 power k records. So the total number of records are 10 power k. Question number 9. Package A requires, so package A and package B. Package A requires 0.0001 into n square time units and package B requires 10n log n. 10n into log n to the base 2 or time units to process n records. So if the number of records are n, the time taken by package A is this, time taken by package B is this. Okay. So they have given 10 power k, which means number of records are 10 power k in the question that we are discussing. process n, this is the time taken, but the n that we are processing is 10 power k. Yeah. Next line. What is the smallest value of k for which package B will be preferred over package A? Package B is preferred over package A. And do we prefer package B if it takes less time? If it takes less time. So for which small value of k does package B take less time? This is the question. For which small value of k? Luckily in the question they are given options also. 12, 10, 6, 5. Okay. And they are looking for a smallest value. Let us start from the smallest value in the options. That is 5. K value is 5. I am assuming k, the smallest k is 5. Let me check. If I take this k as 5, is package B taking less time or not? That is what I want to check. If k is 5, then total number of records are 10 power 5. Correct? Because the number of records that I am processing are 10 power k. So for k equal to 5, the total number of records are 10 power 5. If so, the time taken by package A is 0.0001 into what is n? 10 power 5. 10 power 5 whole square. Which means this is 10 power 10. Okay, I will do it 10. Out of that 10, I will use 4 zeros to move this point after 1. So 4 zeros are gone, which means it is 10 power 6. In 10 power 10, 4 zeros are used to move this point, so total value is 10 power 6. Okay. So when k is 5, the total time taken by package A is this much units of time. Okay, coming to package B, 10 into n is 10 power 5. Then log 10 power 5 to the base 10. This is 10 power 6. This one, this 5 will come front. Log 10 to the base 10 is 1. Okay, so this is 5 into 10 power 6. You see, package A needs only 10 power 6 units, but package B needs 5 times 10 power 6. Do we prefer package B now? When k is 5, do we prefer package B over package A? No. This is taking more time, so we don't prefer package B. So k value is not 5. Let me check for the next smallest value given. K is 6, which means the number of records are 10 power 6. Okay, for this the time taken by package A is 0.0001 into 10 power 6 whole square, which means this is 10 power 12. In 10 power 12, 4 zeros are used to move this, so this is 10 power 8 only. Coming to this, 10 into the number of records are 10 power 6, so I am substituting here 10 power 6 into log 10 power 6 to the base 10. This one is 10 power 7. This 6 will come front, so it is 6 into log 10 to the base 10 is 1. So this one is 6 times 10 power 7. That is the answer. Here it is 10 into 10 power 7, correct? This 10 power 8 is 10 into 10 power 7. So this is 6 times 10 power 7. This is 10 times 10 power 7. Obviously package A is taking more time. Package B is taking less time. So now we prefer package B over package A. The smallest value K is 6, for which we prefer package B over package A. So answer is K equal to 6. Is it clear? We go to the next question. Question number 10. Which of the given options provides the increasing order of the asymptotic complexity of the functions? Four functions are given. We are asked to find the asymptotic increasing order of the functions. Question number 10. F1 is 2 power n. F2 is n power 3 by 2. F3 n into log n. F4 is n power log n. Okay. So based on what we learned, keep this aside, but we know the relation between these three. N power 3 by 2 is n into root n, correct? N into n power 1 by 2 is n by 3 by n into 3 by 2, n power 3 by 2, correct? So this is n into root n. This is n log n. We know the relation between them. Okay, n log n is less than n root n. So n log n is less than n root n, which means n power 3 by 2 is okay. Less than. Okay. This is n power log n, this is 2 power n. In the previous question, we have seen the relation between these two, and we learned that n power log n is smaller than 2 power n. N power log n is smaller than 2 power n. And 2 power n is exponential, much bigger than all the polynomials. So all these are smaller than 2 power n. So 2 power n will be somewhere here. But n power log n, where do we keep it? Is it here? Is it here? Here? Where? Just observe n power log n. As n is increasing, log n value will be increasing. Definitely. It is definite. See, n power 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is a fixed number, 1.5 only. But I can get n square from here. If n is 4, obviously this is n square. From 0.4 onwards, definitely n power log n is much greater than n power 3 by 2. Which means n power log n is here. Okay? Because log n value is increasing. It is not fixed figure. As n is increasing, log n is increasing. So n power log n is increasing, but still it is like a polynomial only, which is less than exponential. That's why it is before 2 power n. So this is the asymptotic increasing order of the functions. Let us keep them in order. This one, n log n is f3. Then n power 3 by 2 is f2. Then n power log n is f4. And then finally f1. That's all. This is the increasing order of the functions. Compare with the options. So we have learned relationship between some of the functions, but if there is any new function, we are giving values for n and then verify. You see the next question? Read the next question. Consider the equality. Sigma iq is equal to x for I equal to 0 to n. I equal to 0 to n. And the following choice of x, x is given the values. So there are 4 options given. It is theta of n power 4. Second is big O of n cube. Third one is big O of n power 5. Fourth one, omega of n. The equality above remains correct if x is replaced by only 1, 2, 3, sum of I cube, where I goes from 0 to n, and x is equal to theta of n power 4, correct or not? X is equal to big O of n cube, correct or not? X is equal to n power 5 or not? X means this one. First, let us find x value. Question number is 11. What is x value first? It is sigma of I cube. I goes from 0 to n. What is the meaning? 0 cube plus 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube and so on n cube. Sum of the cubes of the first 10 natural numbers. What is the formula? N into n plus 1 by 2 whole square. Internal one is already n square, correct? N into n square. On top of it whole square, which means it is like n power 4. Definitely it is a polynomial. Okay, it's a polynomial with a degree. So the highest power that you can say is n power 4. There are many other things after that, n cube, n square with that. But n power 4 we have. So it's a polynomial of degree 4. So if f of n is a polynomial of degree 4, we know that that is equal to theta of n power 4. If theta is to big O is to big omega is to with n power 4. So theta of n power 4 is correct. That is not the only thing. You check the other ones also. So the answer we got is n power 4. That x is equal to big O of n cube. So the answer that we got is less than or equal to n cube. Is this less than or equal to n cube? No, right? This function is n power 4 function. That is just n cube. So n power 4 function less than or equal to n cube is wrong. So this is wrong statement. Then, so x value, this is the answer n power 4 approximately. That is less than or equal to n power 5. Big O means this one is less than or equal to n power 5. That is a right statement. Because this is just n power 4, that is less than or equal to n power 5 is okay. Then this answer x is, that is big omega, which means it is greater than or equal to n cube. Yes or no? Yes, that this is n power 4 answer. This is definitely greater than or equal to n cube. So this is also true. So the statements which are true are 1, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4 are true. See, from the last year onwards, you have not just the multiple choice questions, it is multiple selection questions. Like your check boxes, okay? For a gate question, they will give answers. You can tick both. Option A, B, C. It is not a radio button so that you will select any one of them. That is multiple choice. But now you have multiple selection. There can be two answers which are correct. Or all the four are correct. Okay? So this type of questions were introduced from GATE 2021 onwards. Should be careful with such questions. Okay? Here 1, 3, 4 are correct. Option C, 1 or 3 or 4 but not 2. But not 2. 2 is wrong. Twelfth question. Read the question carefully. Such questions may look slightly complicated, but they are not actually complicated if you know the simple point about the sign in. Question number 12. F of n is equal to n. G of n is n power 1 plus sin n. Where n is a positive integer, which of the following statements is or are correct? So the options given are f of n is equal to big O of g of n. Second one, f of n is big omega of g of n. Okay. Now, which of the following statements are correct? Only one is correct. Only two is correct. Both 1 and 2 are correct, which means theta. Neither 1 nor 2. So what is the relation between these two functions, f of n and g of n? See, f of n graph is a simple graph. We know that. You know how the graph looks, right? When n value is 1, f of n is also 1 because it is straight away n. If n is 2, f of n is also 2. This is 3, f of n is also 3. It is like a straight line like this. This is f of n graph. No confusion. Coming to g of n, it is n power 1 plus sin n, which means you need to give values for n and then see how the graph is or how the values are going on. Okay. Tell me what is the value of sin 0, sin 30, sin 45, sin 60, sin 90. What are the values? Whatever may be the values, okay, I do not know, okay, leave it, even if you do not know. But if we know one simple point, sin theta value is always between -1 and +1, that's all. Sometimes it is touching -1, sometimes it is coming to 0, then it goes to +1, slowly increasing, and then going to +1. Again it will come down to 0, then go to -1. So we know the sine graph. Sine graph is like a wave. Correct? If you know at least that point, so when n is increasing, when for a particular value of n, sin n becomes 0. For example, there is a case where it becomes 0. When this is 0, it is n power 1 only. So it is touching this graph. Because f of n is also n, g of n is also n, then sin n is 0. But after some time, sin n becomes +1. Sin n becomes +1. It is touching the maximum point, right? So when this is +1, it is 1 plus 1, 2. So this is n square. N square means it will cross this n graph. It will cross the n graph. Okay, then. So after some time again it becomes a 0. So then again it will touch this graph by coming down. Then it becomes -1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. N power 0 is 1. So n power 0 is 1. It is coming down to 1 graph. 1. Again it will go up, touch the f of n graph. It will cross n square because it can be n square also. Again it will come down to 1. This is going on. Now, can you tell me from which particular point one graph is dominating the other graph? Can you see any such possibility? Even if you go for a large n, at some point this graph is touching f of n graph. Immediately after that it is going up. Immediately after that it is coming down. So from a particular natural number onwards, no function is dominating the other function. Sometimes this is going up, sometimes this is going down. Okay, f of n is dominating g of n. G of n is dominating f of n. It is happening continuously. From a particular natural number, one function is not dominating the other forever. It's not happening. So, this is also false, this is also false. We can say this statement only if f of n is less than or equal to g of n, at least from one particular natural numbers. On top of it, for any natural number, this should be true. That is not how the graph is. It is coming up, going down, coming up, going down. Okay, it is like that. So, this one is also false, this one is also false. So, the answer is D. Neither one nor two. So, by seeing the functions, okay, don't get frustrated, you just study the function. Just a simple behavior of sine function is more than enough. Next question. Question number 13. Consider the following functions from positive integers to real numbers. Functions are given. Correct arrangement of the above functions in increasing order of asymptotic complexity. Increasing order of asymptotic complexity. Functions are given. I'm just writing down. Functions are 10, root n, n, log n, 100 by n. We know the relation between these three. Obviously, this one also. We know n is like a constant. Any constant. We kept constant as the smallest value, if you remember in the relation. Constant less than log n, less than root log n, then log n. This is the relation that we have written. So in fact, we know the relation between them. So simple graph 10. For example, this is 10. 10 graph is like a straight line. Whatever may be the n, 10 graph is just like that, a straight line. Root n, log n. We know that log n is smaller, then root n, then n. This is log n, root n, n. Okay, this is 10 graph. How about 100 by n? 100 by n. As the one, our study should be as n tends to infinity. For example, when n is 100, this is a graph at 100, for example, this is 100. At this point, when n is 100, the function value is 100 by 100, which is 1. So, at this place, it is just 1. When n is, when n is 200, it is 1 by 2 coming to 0.5. Slowly as n is increasing, 100 by n, if the denominator is increasing, which means the total value is almost reaching to 0, which means the graph, when it is 1, when n is 1, that's when the value is at 100, the f of n value is at 100. From that position onwards, it is slowly coming down and almost reaching 0. This is 100 by n graph. Now by observing this, you should tell me the relation. From a particular natural number onwards, whatever may be that n, from that position onwards, definitely 100 by n is the smallest one. That is dominated by every other. That is dominated by every other. Correct? So, 100 by n, then 10, then log n, root n, n. This is the increasing one. Just observe the behavior of the function as n tends to infinity. Much larger values of n. I gave you a relation, right, between the functions. You should remember that so that you can answer all such questions in a fraction of seconds. Only for those functions which you do not know, something like this, you can give a value and then study their behaviors. 14th question. The running time of the following algorithm. A procedure is given. Procedure A of n. Procedure A of n. If n is less than or equal to 2, return 1. Else return A of root n is best described by what is the running time, which means time complexity. It's not the return value, it is the time complexity. So what is the time complexity of this algorithm? Procedure name is A. I am calling A, which means it is a recursive algorithm. So how do we find the time complexity of recursive algorithm? First you need to write the recurrence relation, then solve it. What is the recurrence relation for this? Time taken by this procedure when n is passed is time taken by the same procedure when root n is passed. Because here what I passed matters. So root n. And I'm not doing any other arithmetic operation, but yes, some return statements or some comparison, some fixed amount of time is there. You can say plus 1 or plus c. So this is the recurrence relation. Now I need to solve it. I think we have solved this recurrence relation yesterday with change of variable method, right? Whenever you see neither decrease and conquer nor divide and conquer, something like log and root n, you should go for change of variable method. So let n is equal to 2 power n. That implies m is equal to log n to the base 2. Substitute t of 2 power m is equal to t of 2 power m by 2. Let t of 2 power m is equal to s of m. So this becomes s of m by 2 plus 1. Now this is like divide and conquer case. So you can apply Master's theorem directly. So a equal to 1, b equal to 2, d equal to 0. So b power d is 2 power 0, 1. A equal to b power d case. A equal to b power d case. So s of m value is big O of m power d into log m. M power d into log m. M power d is 0. M power 0 is 1. So 1 into what is log m? This is log m. But finally I want the answer in terms of n, right? T of n. So wherever you see m, you substitute the value of big O of log m value is nothing but log m. This is what we solved, right? For this recurrence relation, this is the answer. Yesterday we discussed. So the time complexity of this algorithm is big O of log m. First recurrence relation, then solve it by using Master's theorem. Question. The time complexity of the following C function. Question is like this. 15th question. Int recursive int n. If n equal to 1, return 1. Else return recursive of n minus 1 plus recursive of n minus 1. That's all. Question is the time complexity of the following C function, not the return value. Time complexity of the recursive function. Again, recur function is called, and it is called twice with the same value. It is called twice. See, I'll call this function and I'll reuse that value here. No, that is not how it does. It will execute this whole recursion and it will repeat the same recursion again. So this is also executed and this is also executed. So it is 2 times the effort. So the whole time taken by this algorithm when n is passed is the time taken by this and the time taken by this. So it is 2 times the time taken by the same function when n minus 1 is passed. Some arithmetic operations, return statements, comparisons, some constant amount of time. That's all. This is a reconciliation. First step is done. Please be careful while writing this reconciliation. Now we need to solve it because we are interested in the time complexity. Divide and decrease and conquer. You see this decrease and conquer case, not divide and conquer. A value is 2. So the formula that we need to apply depends on this A value. A value is greater than 1. So T of n is equal to O of n power d into A power n by b. This is the formula if you remember. But what is d? It's 1 into n power 0, which means d is 0. So we go of n power 0 into A power n by 1. So n power 0 is 1, so we go of 2 power n. This is the answer. Time complexity of this algorithm is we go of 2 power n. Two-step process, reconciliation, apply master's theorem. For recursive algorithms. For non-recursive, just by observing the for loops, we will answer the question. Question number 16. The recurrence equation. 16th question. Recurrence equation T of 1 is 1. T of n is 2 times T of n minus 1 plus n. Where n is greater than or equal to 2. Evaluates 2. They are given 4 different options. So option A, 2 power n plus 1 minus n minus 2. Option B, 2 power n minus n, 2 power n plus 1 minus 2n minus 2. D is 2 power n plus 1 n. See, recurrence relation is already given. Now we were not asked what is the solution of this in terms of big O or theta. If so, we will directly go for master's theorem. They were asking for the exact answer. So if they are asking for the exact answer, substitution method is the only solution. Okay, it's not in terms of big O, correct? But in this case, you don't really have to do substitution method also. A simple method. See, this is T of n. You know what is T of 1. Then you calculate what is T of 2, which means n value is 2, right? When n value is 2, T of 2 I am calculating. Substitute 2 into T of 2 minus 1, 1. So what is T of 1? 1. Plus n value is 2. 2 plus 2, 4. Okay. So when n value is 2, T of 2 value must be 4. So if the answer of this is this one, if I substitute n value as 2, it should give me 4. Correct? If this also gives me 4 and this also gives me 4, I will go for T of 3 also. I will go for T of 3. Calculate for T of 3 also. 2 times T of 2, the T of 2 is 4 plus n value is 3. 8 plus 3, 11. Okay. When I substitute n value as 3, I must get the answer as 11. So when n is 3, which of the options is giving me 11? Just verify, cross verify, that's all. Substitute n value as 3, 4, 2 power 4, 16. 16 minus 3, 13. 13 minus 2 is 11. Seems to be okay. Let us check the other one. 2 cube, 8 minus 3, no. This one, 3 plus 1, 4. 16 minus 6 is 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. Option C is giving me 8, but I want 11. No. This one, 2 cube is 8. 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 is also 11. This is also giving me 11. This is also giving me 11. Which of them is correct? Then check for option 2. T of 2, when n is 2, it should give me 4. Is this giving me 4? 2 square is 4. 4 plus 2, 6. This is giving me 6. Where I should get only 4. Is this giving me 4? When n is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 2 cube is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. Yes. So option A is giving me the right answer when n is 2 and 3. I verified for two values. This is easiest way. Okay? When the options are given. The options are given, just go from the option. Just a substitution. Like how we have done in 6th, 7th standards. Okay? Substitution and cross verify. And there is a gate question because now IIT professors have understood that we are following from the options. That's why in the recent years they have given a question. We need to solve it with the exact answer, no doubt. But they have not given the options. They have given a question slight variation. Then you cannot escape. You must do substitution method. When you cannot avoid substitution, that's when we'll go for it because that's a time-taking process. It's not that it's a difficult question. We can do it, but it is time-taking. That's why we are going from the options. But if you cannot avoid that, yes, we'll do it with substitution method only. We'll see that question also when it comes. Okay. So for question number 16, answer is A. Question number 17. What is the time complexity of the following recursive function? A recursive function is given. Int do something. Int n. If n less than or equal to 2, return 1. Else, return do something of floor of root n. It is floor or seed. The variation is very small, right? So you can ignore floor and seed if at all they are given. So do something of root n plus n. Okay. Now the question is, what is the time complexity of the following recursive algorithm? They are asking for the time complexity, not the return value. Okay. So what is the time complexity? Two steps: recurrence relation, solution. What is recurrence relation? T of n, time taken by this when n is passed, is time taken by the same function when root n is passed. Then plus, what should I add? Should I do plus n? No. If it is the return value, then we should add n. If it is the time complexity, we are just performing one addition. That's all. A fixed number of instructions are getting executed. So fixed amount of time. If it is the return value, then what we are adding matters. But if it is time complexity, what we are adding doesn't matter. We are just performing one arithmetic operation. So a constant amount of time. That's all. So this is the recurrence relation for time complexity. And we have solved this already in the previous question also. The answer is log n. Answer is log n. See the options where it is present. Option D. You call it as theta or big doesn't matter because the recurrence relation is equal. As long as this is equal to theta is fine. Next question. Eighteenth question. Consider the following C function. Is prime. Is prime is given. Whether a given number n is prime or not, for which there is a for loop which goes from 2 to less than or equal to square root of n with I plus plus. If n percentage I is equal to 0, then we want to print something and then return 0, which means you are not continuing the for loop, you are returning to the calling environment. Okay. Finally, so if statement is finished, for loop is finished, these brackets are not given. Obviously, only this if statement is associated with for. So return 1. So let T of n denote the number of times the for loop is executed by the program on the input n. Which of the following is true? So T of n is the number of iterations executed for this. So T of n equal to big O or big omega of. This is the question. We don't need the options. You can straight away tell me the answer. Which means the time complexity of for loops, non-recursive algorithms. We solve these questions. Many examples, right? So we are starting from 2 going till square root of n only with I plus plus. Which means root n times this for loop can execute because it is just 1, 1, 1, 1 increment. Maximum it can go till square root of n. Which means it is big O of root n. Maximum number of iterations are root n. But minimum how much? See, when my n is an even number, for example, if I pass an even number, obviously first iteration starts with I equal to 2. When n is even, this 2 will immediately divide it exactly and give me the remainder as 0. So if statement is true. If statement is true means it will print something and return, which means it is not executing like a for loop at all. It is just one simple execution. That's all. Only one iteration. It is not even going for the next iteration. Some fixed amount of instructions are getting executed when n is even number. Correct? So it is fixed amount of time. That's why it is big omega of 1. It is not like a for loop anymore. Fixed number of instructions. Is that okay? So T of n is big O of root n and T of n is big omega of 1. Any doubts? What's happening outside? Question. All these are simple master's theorem applications. Okay, we will do them. 19th, T of n is T of n by 2 plus n. Find the solution of this difference relationship. So apply master's theorem. Divide and conquer. Polynomial format. So theorem 1 is enough. Okay. So a equal to 1, b equal to 2, d equal to 1. What is b power d? 2 power 1, 2. A is less than b power d case. So t of n is equal to b2 of or theta of n power d only. O of n power 1. So this is the answer for question number 90. This was a descriptive type of question, so I have to give all the solution at that time. Old questions, 1988. Question number 20. Find the solution to the following recurrence relation. T of n is T of n by 2 plus root n. Again, divide and conquer. N power d format, n power 1 by 2. We have solved these questions already, if you remember. Okay, let me do it again. A equal to 1, B equal to n by b. So b equal to 2, d is n power 1 by 2. So d is 1 by 2. What is b power d? B power d is 2 power 1 by 2, which is square root of 2, 1.414. A is less than b power d. A is less than b power d. So t of n is equal to b of n power d. B of n power d is 1 by 2, which means root n. Any doubts? Yes, question number 21. Let t of n be the function defined by t of 1 equal to 1, t of 2 is 2. T of n is T of n is 2 times t of n by 2 plus root n. Which of the following statement is true? They are given the options. T of n is big O of root n. B. T of n is big O of n. T of n is big O of log n. D. None. Let us check. See, this is equal to, so I can write theta straight away. Divide and conquer. F of n is n power d format. So Master's theorem 1. A is 2, B is 2, D is 1 by 2. So B power D is square root of 2, 1.414. A is greater than B power D case. So T of n is equal to theta of n power log A to the base B, which is theta of n power log 2 to the base 2, n power 1. Log 2 to the base 2 is 1, that's all. So theta of n is correct, which means big O of n is true, big omega of n is also true. Which is like n is correct. So big O of n is correct. Which means the time complexity is approximately same as n. Then I am saying this time complexity is less than or equal to log n. Is n function less than or equal to log n? No. Is n function, t of n is, we got n function. Is n function less than or equal to root n? No. It is m. So answer is B. This is how you should answer. Okay, you observe the other options also, because from now onwards you have multiple selection questions. That's why. You should know each and every option properly, accurately. Question number 22. T of n is equal to 2 times T of n by 2 plus n. Which of the following is false statement? Which means three of them are true, only one of them is false. Let us find out carefully. Option A. T of n is big O of n square. B is theta of n log n. C is omega of n square. D is big O of n log n. Let us find out. First we'll solve this. Divide and conquer. F of n equal to n power d format. So theorem 1. A is 2, B is 2, D is 1. B power D is 2 power 1, which is 2. A equal to B power D case. When A equal to B power D, T of n is equal to theta of n power D into log n, which is D is 1, right? So n into log. So theta of n log n is a right statement. So this is a right statement. We are looking for a false statement. If theta is true, big O of n log n is also true. If theta is true, big O is also true. This is also a right statement. Now, which means the function, the t of n value is approximately same as n log n. Let me check. N log n less than or equal to n square. True or false? N log n is less than or equal to n square. Obviously, we know a relation, right? So, this is also a true statement. This one, n log n is greater than or equal to n square, is false. So, we are asked to find false statements. So, option C is false. '23. Consider the following recurrence. T of n is equal to 2 times t of root n plus 1. Which of the following is a true statement? Okay, so you need to find the time complexity of this by using this reconciliation. This is root n, t of root n. So change of variable method is the only solution. So let n is equal to 2 power m. That implies m is equal to log n to the base 2. Substitute t of 2 power m is equal to 2 times t of n power 1 by 2. N is already 2 power m. So 2 power m by 2. So let t of 2 power m is equal to s of m. That implies t of 2 power m by 2 is s of m by 2. Substitute s of m is equal to 2 times s of m by 2 plus 1. Now it is in the form of divide and conquer. So a equal to 2, b equal to 2, d equal to 0, n power 0, that's why. But what is b power d? 2 power 0 is 1. A is greater than b power d case. So s of m is equal to theta of m power log a to the base b. M power log a to the base b, which is theta of log 2 to the base 2 is 1. That's why m power 1, which means m only. Now, let us bring it back to n. If s of m is like this, what is t of n? Is theta of, what is m value? Value is log n. That's all. So the answer is theta of log n. See the options. Theta of log n, no. Theta of root n, no. Theta of log n, yes, option C is correct. D is theta of n, that is also false. because all are theta notations, that's why remaining three are false. If it is big O, big omega, we would have verified. Because the answer we got is for theta. Before, the running time of an algorithm is represented by the following recurrence relation. T of n is equal to T of n is equal to n when n is less than or equal to 3, but T of n is equal to T of n by 3. Recurrence relation is this one. T of n by 3 plus some constant into n. Each of the following represents the time complexity of the algorithm, theta notation. Divide and conquer and party format. So A equal to 1, B equal to 3, D equal to 1. B power D is 3 power 1, 3. A is less than B power D case. So T of n is equal to theta of n power D. Theta of n. So answer is theta of answer is A. Question number 25. Let Wn and An denote respectively the worst case and average case running time of an algorithm executed on an input size n. W1 of n is the worst case, A of n is the average case. Okay, which of the following is always true? Always. What is the relation between average case and worst case? We discussed this already. This is worst case, the maximum amount of time. This is best case, minimum amount of time. Average case always lies between these two. So average case can be towards B also, it can be towards W also. So A of n on an input n is always less than or equal to worst case. Average case is either less than or almost same as worst case. That's all. Okay, then less than or equal to Wn is 2. What is the relation? U of n is equal to big O of W of n. Correct? So observe the options. U of n equal to big O of W of n. Answer is C. We cannot say strictly less than because average case, both best case, worst case, average case can be the same like merge sum. All of them are same for merge sum. So in that case, it is or equal to also average case is same as worst case. That's why. So it is less than or equal big O, not little o. It is not strictly less than. Number 25 is done. Go through question number 26. The recurrence relation capturing the optimal execution time of the towers of Hanoi problem with n disks. They are asking for the recurrence relation of a towers of Hanoi. You know towers of Hanoi problem, right? Don't know, you don't have to know the algorithm. Just a solution, simple solution. A, B, C stands are there. You have number of disks. That could be 3, 4, 5, how many? Doesn't matter. N number of disks. We want to move all of them to C. You may use B. But this moving should happen one by one. You can at a time take only one disk. Okay. If you want, you can use an auxiliary stand. That's all. A temporary stand. Right. Okay. Also, there is a rule. If you keep this much weight, you can keep only the less weight on top of it. That's all. You cannot keep an overload on top of it. That's all. This is the rule. So, for this, we have a recursive solution. The high level solution looks like this. The plan is when there are n disks, the top n minus 1 disks I will keep it on top of the n minus 1 disk. This is a high level solution. Of course, we will do that one by one only, but this n minus 1 disk moment will internally have number of disk moments. Okay. The top solution is high level solution is the n minus 1 disks are moved. This bottom disk is moved to C. Again, these n minus 1 disks are moved to C. That's all. This is a solution. But moving that n minus 1 on top of it is again a recursive solution which will use A as a temporary stack. That's all. So, the number of moments for n disks is moving these n minus 1. So, T of n minus 1 onto B. Then one disk moment to C. Again these n minus 1 disks on top of it. And that is done recursively again. So 2 times n minus 1. So T of n minus 1, T of n minus 1 is 2 times T of n minus 1 plus 1. That's all. This is the recurrence relation for towers of Hanoi. As I told you, this n minus 1 moment is not that I am taking all n minus 1 and keeping. No. That n minus 1 is again a recurrence relation. I will not do it as n minus 1. I am calling the same function so that internally it will do one by one movement only. Okay. So this is the recurrence relation for towers of Hanoi. They just asked for recurrence relation or the time complexity. If they are asking time complexity, you can solve it. Decrease and conquer case A equal to 2, which is greater than 1. So T of n is equal to theta of or big O of n power d into a power n by b. D is 0, so n power 0 is 1. Big O of a is to 2 power n. That's all. This is the time complexity of towers of Hanoi. (27) Consider the following function, unknown function, and there is a for loop in it. For I equal to n by 2, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, j equal to 2 to j less than or equal to n, j equal to j star, this is star, k equal to k plus n by 2. Finally, return k. Now the question is the return value of the function is in terms of theta. So we are interested in the return value, not the time complexity. The return value. Okay. So what is the recurrence relation that I need to? Okay. It's not recurrence relation, right? It is time complexity of non-recursive algorithm. n by 2 to n with 1, 1, 1 increment, which means this outer loop executes for n by 2 times. Internal one, 2 to n or 1 to n with j star 2, which means log n times. This is log, whatever is here, log n times. So, this line gets executed for n by 2 log n times, because for each and every iteration of the outer loop, inner loop gets executed. So, n by 2 times this for loop gets executed. So, this one is again log n. So, n by 2 into log n times, this one line gets executed. But what we are doing in that one line? Finally, we are interested in the k value. What is the k value? When it is executed for the first time, it became n by 2. When it is executed for the second time, one more n by 2 was added to the same, so it becomes this value. When it gets executed for the third time, for the existing value, n by 2 gets added. Like this line gets executed for n by 2 log n times. That is k value. So, what is k value? A plus A plus A plus and so on n times is A into n. Similarly, n by 2 plus n by 2 plus n by 2 and so on n by 2 log n times, which is n by 2 into n by 2 log n, which is n square by 4 log n. By 4 has no importance in terms of theta, so it is theta of n square log n. That's all. This is the return value. If it was time complexity, it is n log n only. By 2 has no importance, so it is n log n. But because we are interested in return value, what gets added matters now. So n by 2 plus n by 2 and so on, n by 2 log n times. So n square by 4 log n. By 4 is ignored in theta, so n square log n. So see the question carefully. Are they asking for time complexity or the return value? Even for loops, even for recursive algorithms. See the next question. Eighth question. Which one of the following is the tightest upper bound that represents the time complexity of inserting an object into a binary search tree of n nodes? We didn't discuss data structures. We will solve this question, and we have left one more question, right? In linked list. These two we will solve in data structures. Which one of the following correctly determines the solution of recurrence relation? Below is the recurrence relation. Question number 29. T of n is equal to 2 times T of n by 2 plus log n. You see, this f of n function is not in n power d format. This is the first question which was given on theorem 2. Okay, in recent years. So this is not theorem 2. Obviously, you should go. It is not theorem 1. You should go for theorem 2. Which case? For which you need to observe f of n, which is log n, and what is n power log a to the base 2, which is n power log 2 to the base 2. Log 2 to the base 2 is 1. So this is log n function. n power log a to the base 2 is n function. This is less than or equal to n power log a to the base 2, which means f of n equal to big O of. It is coming to big O of. But you should do a small subtraction. Okay, this log n is definitely less than or equal to n power 1 minus 0.5, because so that it becomes root n. Log n is less than or equal to root n is also true. So f of n is equal to big O of n power log a to the base b minus epsilon. So by case 1, t of n is equal to theta of n power log a to the base b, theta of n power 1, which means theta of n. Solve this question also, right? And we were solving theorem 2 questions. This is also related to trees. We will solve this question after DS. Please note down these numbers which we are leaving for now because it depends on linked list and trees. Question number 31. Consider the following C function. Function is given. Which one of the following most closely approximates the return value of the function? So again we are interested in the return value, not the time complexity. But how the function is q equal to 0 for loop I equal to 1, I less than n, I plus plus. Every time p becomes a 0, for j equal to n, j greater than 1, j equal to j by 2, plus plus, increment, then one more for loop, k equal to 1, k less than p, k equal to k star 2. I think I explained this question. I have written this when we were discussing for loops. Finally return q, and we are interested in return value of this function qn. Order for loop is running for 1 to n I plus plus, which means it runs for n times. Every time p becomes 0, j starts from n, goes till 1 with j equal to j by 2, not j minus minus, which means this runs for log n times. So p starts with 0, so every time 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus and so on log n times, which means p value will be log n. In each and every iteration, p value will be log n only because every time I am making p to be 0. That's all. So p is always log n after this completion. So that p value is passed here, which means this is log n value. P equal to log n, that's all. So k starts from 1, goes till log n with k equal to k star 2, not k plus plus. So by seeing k equal to k star 2, it is log of what we are passing here. But what we are passing here is log n. In terms of n, it is log n. So this for loop executes for log n times. Log of log n times. For each iteration of this one executes for log n times. So it starts with 0 because q started with 0. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus and so on log n times. So for the first iteration, when I equal to 1, q value will be log of log n. When I equal to 2, again p becomes 0, so this one will be log n, the same is passed. So one more log of log n. One more log of log n. So for the existing log n, one more log n is added. So it is 2 times log n. So when I is 3, it is 3 times log n. Like this I am going for I equal to n because it runs for n times. So it is n times log n. So q value will be n into log n. We answered this question. So q value is theta of n into log n. Return value. If it was the time complexity, outer loop multiplied by whichever is max inside, because these are two different for loops. Log n, log n, whichever is maximum among them, log n. So log n into outer one. Yeah. N log n would be the time complexity. Return value is n into log n. Questions? This is question number 31. Question number 32. Let an represent the number of bit strings of length n containing two consecutive ones. Read it. An represents number of bit strings. Number of strings. Okay? Which are in terms of bits. Number of strings having length n. Okay? Containing two consecutive ones. What is the recurrence relation for an? Options are given. What is the recurrence relation for an? Let me write options also. Here an is equal to an minus 2 plus an minus 1 plus 2. 2 power n minus 2. Option B, an is equal to an minus 2 plus 2 into an minus 1 plus 2 power n minus 2. An is equal to 2 into an minus 2 plus an minus 1 power n minus 2. An is equal to 2 into an minus 2 plus 2 into an minus 1 plus 2 power n minus 2. So the number of bit strings of length n having two consecutive ones. Let's forget about all this. Let us check with the sample. A1 means number of bit strings whose length is 1, only 1 bit, but there should be two consecutive ones. Do we have two consecutive ones in a string having length 1? Is it possible? Two consecutive ones? Not possible. So A1 is 0. How about A2? Actually, the strings having length 2 is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. These are the only possible strings. In which, how many number of strings are there having two consecutive ones? Only 1. So A2 value is 1. Let me check for A3 also, which means length 3. But actually, how many distinct strings are there with length 3? 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Tell me, among these 8, how many strings have two consecutive ones? 1, 2, 3. How about A4? Write all possible values. I will start with 0, 0. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Then I will start with 0, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Finally with 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so these are all possible strings in which How many strings are having two consecutive ones? Two consecutive ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This much is enough. Now you know A1, A2, A3, A4. So when you substitute n value as 4, which option is giving you answer as 8? That is the right answer. If two options are giving you the same, you check for A3. Okay? If all of them are, if more than one option is giving you the same answer, you go for A5 also. That's all. Okay? Let me check for A4. A4 equal to 8. I'm checking option A. A4 is 4 minus 2, 2 A2 plus A3 plus 2 power 4 minus 2, 2. Let me check this. What is A2? 1. A3, 3. 2 square, 4. 4 plus 4, 8. Yes, it seems to be correct. But let us check BCD also. A4 is A2 plus 2 times A3 plus 2 square. A2 is 1, 2 times A3. 6 plus 4 plus 1. No, it is not 8. Option B is wrong. Option C, A4. 2 times A2 plus A3 plus 2 square. 2 times. What is A2? A2 is 1. What is A3? Is 3. 4. 2 plus 3. 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. It is not 8. Option C is also wrong. Option D. A4 is 2 times A2, 2 times A3 plus 2 square. 2 times A2 is 1, A3 is 3, this is 4. 2 plus 6 plus 4 is not 8. So option D is only for one option we are getting answer as 8. So that is the right reconciliation. AN. Instead of saying f of 4, they are saying AN. F of n, they are saying AN. That's all. We have checked with a sample. This is a easier way to solve the question. Next question is similar to this. Just see if you can solve it. Where is this? Question number 33. Let AN be the number of n-bit strings that do not contain two consecutive ones. Which one of the following is the reconciliation for AN? Similar to the previous question. In the previous question, they were asking for number of strings having two ones consecutively. Okay, all the strings which have two consecutive ones. But in this question, all those strings which do not have two consecutive ones. That's all. See, with one bit length, I have only 0 and 1. How many bit strings are there with length 1 where there are no two consecutive ones? So I have two of them. Both of them are not having two consecutive ones. Okay. In this, one of them has two consecutive ones. Remaining 3 do not have two consecutive ones. For A3, out of 8, 3 of them have two consecutive ones. The remaining 5 do not have two consecutive ones in the strings. A4, out of 16, 8 have two consecutive ones. Other 8 do not have 2 consecutive ones. So A4 is 8. Now we observe A1, A2, A3, A4. Tell me what is AN. You can go from the options or just by seeing also you can answer. You don't really need options for this question. Why confusion? You can go from options also. Okay, let me check for option A. AN is equal to AN minus 1 plus 2 times AN minus 2. Is it? I am checking for A4. A4 is A3 plus 2 times A2. A3 is 5. 2 times A2 is 3. 6 plus 5, 11. But I want 8. Option A is wrong. Option B. AN is equal to AN minus 1 plus AN minus 2. Check this. A4 is A3 plus A2. A3 is 5, A2 is 3. 8. Yes, matched. And that is the right answer. You observe 8 is 5 plus 3. 5 is 3 plus 2. If you want, you can observe C and D also. C says AN is 2 times AN minus 1 plus AN minus 2. A4 is 2 times A3 and A2. 2 times A3 is 5, A2 is 3. This is 13, not 8. So option C is wrong. Option B, AN is 2 times AN minus 1 plus 2 times AN minus 2. This is also wrong because 2 times A4 is 2 times A3 plus 2 times A2. 2 times A3 is 5, 2 times A2 is 10 plus 6, 16, not 8. B is also wrong. So what is the recurrence relation? AN is AN minus 1 plus AN minus 2. So we can verify this with a sample. These two questions were given in consecutive years. Can I erase this? Question number 34 and 35, only two questions are left. First, let us solve question number 35. In fact, we have already solved this. 35, T of n is 2 times T of root n plus 1. What is T of n in terms of theta? We solved it, right? What is the answer? That n equal to 2 power m, which implies m is equal to log n to the base 2. So T of 2 power m is equal to 2 times T of 2 power m by 2. So S of m is equal to 2 times S of m by 2. A equal to 2, B equal to 2, D equal to 0. So B power D is 2 power 0, 1. A is greater than B power D case. S of m is equal to theta of m power log A to the base B, log 2 to the base 2. So theta of. What I want in terms of m? T of n is theta of, what is m? M is log n. Log n. Change it back to n. Initially I changed it to m. Now at the answer I am changing it back to n. So answer is log n. Theta of log n. Now let us solve question number 34. Consider the recurrence relation. A1 is 8. An is 6 into n square plus 2 into n plus an minus 1. This is something like t of n is equal to t of n minus 1 plus 6 into n square plus 2n, something like that. Now if you observe, let A99 is equal to k into 10 power 4, then the value of k is, this is the problem. See, previously the question was, they used to give the recurrence relation and they asked what is the exact answer. And when they asked for the exact answer, they gave ABCD options, so we have substituted in the options. Now this is a fill in the blank question. What is k value? So you are not given options to cross verify. So this is where you cannot avoid substitution method now. You are looking for an exact answer, not a theta notation, and the options were not given. So you cannot escape now. Do the substitution method. Okay. An is 6n square plus 2n plus an minus 1. So I'm continuing this. So 6n square plus 2n. But what is an minus 1? If an can be written like this, how an minus 1 can be written? 6 times n minus 1 square 2 times n minus 1 plus an minus 2. This is how we can substitute an minus 1 value. Let me simplify this. All are plus 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 only. This is, I am writing 6n square plus 6n minus 1 square. These two together. And 2n plus 2n minus 1. These two together. An minus 2 is as it is. Is that okay? I wrote these two terms together, these two terms side by side, so that I can take common. From this I can take 6 common, from this I can take 2 common, that's why. Continue this. See, I am not writing this part again, okay? It is exactly same. Plus, how can I write an minus 2? It is 6 times n minus 2 square plus 2 times n minus 2 plus an minus 3. If I do a simplification, which means if I write together 6 times n square, 6 times n minus 1 square, 6 times n minus 2 square. Then 2n, 2n minus 1 plus 2 into n minus 2. Finally an minus 3. This is substitution method, right? So definitely we should stop somewhere where when a1 equal to 8. When a1 equal to 8, which means 1 square is 1, 1 is 1. This becomes a 1 minus 1 0. A naught is 0, that is the name. A naught is 0, a1 is 8, which means 6 into 1 square plus 2 into 1, that is the meaning. So as I am reaching end, it is like 6n square, 6n minus 1 square, 6n minus 2 square. There will, and it goes on, there will be a point where it is 6 into 1 square. Correct? 6 into 1 square. When n is 1, a1. When a1, we are reaching to a1, 6 into 1 square. Then 2 into 1. Okay? So in terms of 2n, 2n minus 1, 2n minus 2, and so on, 2 into 1. Finally, a0. Anyway, a0 is 0. a0 is anyway 0. So from all these terms, I am taking 6 common, so that it becomes n square, n minus 1 square, n minus 2 square, and so on, 1 square, 2 square, 1 square. And from this I will take 2 common, so that it is n plus n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus and so on 2 plus 1. A naught is anyway 0, so leave it. So I am solving this one. 6 into sum of the squares of the first n natural numbers. Sum of the squares of the first n natural numbers. N into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. This is sum of the squares of the first n natural numbers. Plus 2 into sum of the first n natural numbers. 1, 2, 3 and so on up to n. N into n plus 1 by 2. 6 cancel, 2 cancel. So this term is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 together plus this is n into n plus 1. So in these two I have n into n plus 1 common. So I am taking n into n plus 1 common, so that here I have 2n plus 1, here I have 1 because this into 1. So it is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 2. From this if I take 2 common, 2 into n plus 1 into 2 taken common, then it becomes n plus 1, which is 2n into n plus 1 whole square. Okay, this is the exact solution of an. But we are not asked to find the exact answer. We are asked to find A99. When you know an value, what is A99 value? 2 into 99 into n plus 1. 99 plus 1, 100 whole square. This one is 198 into 10 square whole square is 10 power 4. So here they have given A99 is some constant into 10 power 4. So what is that constant? 198. So you see how much time does it take if you do a substitution method? So this is a time taking question. It's not a difficult question, but time taking question. That's why wherever you can do questions quickly, you should do in that method only, so that when a question is like this, you cannot avoid doing it. Any doubts? So among all these questions, only for one question we used substitution method. Is it clear? So there are 3 questions pending which we will discuss in data structures. Okay. To solve those questions, asymptotic notations were needed. That's why I moved them to. Otherwise, I would have kept them in DS questions. Can I erase it? So with this we have finished asymptotic notations. The next topic will be divide and conquer, okay, which we will discuss on next Saturday. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Anything related to time complexities, non-recursive and recursive, or Master's theorem, Round 2. Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much.